Holy smokes. I think we're live, folks. What's going on? I am your host, Mike Pugh of the FPC Virtual Channel, and we are on YouTube Live, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today. I haven't really come up with a video in a while, so I do apologize for those who have not gotten a chance to see my most latest videos, but right now I'm trying to reconfigure myself mentally during this wild, chaotic state of affairs and things that have been going on in the world. So that's my excuse. But other than that, thanks a lot for y'all folks choosing to watch my live stream sessions on YouTube or whatever else I come up with, whether it's pre-recorded videos or whatever. So here we go. No further ado, here we are. We're on this thing known as Kinector. So what is Kinector and why did I bring y'all folks to this live stream? Well, Kinector is one of those things that you might find in the 3D arena if you're trying to learn how to get a 3D mocap type of feature working. And when I say mocap, I mean motion capture. So say you're trying to get a 3D motion capture type of software to help you when you're using a software known as Blender to actually get your models to move the model's face, move the eyes, facial mocap basically. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit so you can get to see some of what it showcases on the website itself. But I highly recommend for y'all folks to go to this website. I'll put the link in the video's description area, but you can type in Kinector on Google to easily get to it. And then don't go to the first one that says kinector.org. Go to the second one that should come up on your Google search. And it's known as Weasley.li, something to that effect. That's why I didn't pronounce it, because I'm not good at pronouncing it. And that's why I didn't spell it out for y'all folks to go to it. So I recommend going to Google, click the link there, and you'll get to it. So pretty much it's a project that a really cool guy worked on. I don't know his name 100% per se. I watched his videos, but I didn't really, try to memorize his name. But whether that matters or not, I think this matters even more, what he created. But he's a really cool dude. I'll show y'all folks his video where he actually helps out a lot of us with understanding his software and how he made it work. So this is the guy right here. Sorry that I don't remember his name. Sorry to the content creator who came up with it. But I'm going to go to the channel real quick. And let's see what we got here. Remo Rickli. So I think that's his name. Remo Rickli or Rickli. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name either. But this is the actual video you're going to want to go to if you want to learn how to use what I'm about to show y'all folks today. Now, he had another add-on for Blender, and this is what we're basically focusing upon is Blender, because Blender is a 3D open source software suite, and you can do a lot of different things with Blender. So this particular guy created a Kinector add-on for Blender. So basically it helps you to use 3D animation controls through using the Kinect. If you have a Microsoft Kinect, and you can tie it into your computer, pretty much using the Kinect software and using Blender, and also using his add-on, you can be able to control your actual character's face, head, motion, stuff like that, as long as your character's rigged. Now, the other thing is it doesn't work as great as it should work. I know on my older computer it worked a little better than it works on my newer computer, and it kind of comes out with weird looking movements and stuff like that. Some of the stuff is jerky. It may not turn out exactly the way that you want it to look and to function. So what I tried today is to go a little bit further into what he has to offer, because I was just trying to see if he had anything else other than what I saw in the past and what I tried to use. And this was the older app that I was using, the Kinector itself, Kinector app. This is the interface that you can pretty much use, and you got these little dots that come up and show your face structure and basically you use your webcam. Well, not really your webcam. You use your Kinect, which is like a webcam, and it basically sketches out and tracks your 3D details of your face, the depth of your face and stuff like that, and it shows basically the movement. So it basically follows the movement of your face. And then when you connect it to Blender through the Blender add-on, it's able to send signals from this app to the Blender add-on onto Blender directly, and then it can communicate and show live movement of your character once you tie it all in the way you're supposed to tie it in. So that part I'm trying to bypass because that didn't work really well on my computer, my newer computer. So what I decided to do is go to the website today, and I found that he has like an update on the website that I didn't see before, which is FaceOSC Kinector. So this is a different version, and it basically works with the MBLab. The one that I was using was working with MakeHuman, but MakeHuman, like I said, maybe it's something wrong with the rig, or I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it, but it's not functioning the way as it's intended, in the way it's supposed to work. So I'm going to show y'all folks how to work this through him helping me get to it. So I got to it. I kind of understand what he states in some of this stuff, and then I was able to figure out how to edit a .xml file. So if y'all folks have found this already and you're trying to figure out stuff, I'm going to try to help y'all folks to get through this part, because when I first got to it, I got stuck. So basically you go and download the FaceOSC file, and it's basically going to go in as a zip file on your computer. So it turns into this right here, FaceOSC-v1.11-win.zip. And then you take that, you unzip it, and then you go in, and pretty much you have to manipulate it. So I'll show y'all folks how to do that. So you go in, I sent it to my 3D models or 3D objects folder, but it usually comes into your downloads folder. So you're gonna unzip it either in your downloads folder or a subfolder you choose to send it to. So here it is right here. You just right click, extract all, and then it becomes an open folder. You go in, and you're gonna notice it's gonna start out in the bin folder. So you're like, what is this? You just double click it, and then it opens up all the rest of the files. So you should see the icon for FaceOSC. So this is actually what you're gonna run, but before you run it, you wanna go into the data folder. So you go into the data folder, double click, and then you want to change the XML file here known as settings. So how do you change it? Well, if you right click and you try to open with, you're not going to find anything you can change it with. Now, what I found, I tried the Office XML handler. That didn't work out. It just kept freezing. If you'll see, it's going to freeze. Like it doesn't really go to it, doesn't open it up. And that's probably 9 times out of 10 because I don't have the Microsoft Office XML handler, like the paid version. So you got to go through Microsoft Office and get the paid version of Microsoft 365 and all that stuff. I don't have the paid version, so I can't use this, obviously. So that's why I think it's blocked. I tried Notepad. Some people say you can do it through Notepad in terms of saving an XML file type, but I wasn't able to do it. And in the WordPad, I tried to save it. If you go through WordPad, I'll show y'all folks that. Let's click open. This won't work. So basically you can open up the file, you can see it. Yours may be able to do it. And you can change what he wants us to change. So he wants us to go in here where it says localhost towards the end and change this to a specific host number and change the port into a specific port. And he pretty much shows you how to do that, just basically what to put in there. And you can go in and do that. But if you try to change it and you go to save it, let me bring you folks back. Sorry about that. Let me find it. It doesn't matter which one. This is basically what he wanted us to change it to. 127.0.0.1. So that's the host, and change the port to 7000. So pretty much this file will be able to, I guess, communicate to the software of what host is going to be sending it to and communicating from, things like that. And then when you're using your webcam, and this is basically just to connect to your webcam. When you use your webcam, you can use it to actually control your character using the MBLab character build model that you can actually develop on Blender. And it's pretty simple. You open up the MBLab software, and I should be able to show y'all folks that part. But in terms of me using it, I'm going to have to disconnect from the webcam through the live session. And actually, I don't have to disconnect because I got my webcam tied in. I just have to maybe stall the live session and come back and disconnect on Blender because my webcam is currently running. But I can go in. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if I can go in and just shut off my webcam. I'll be right back in 1 second. Hold on 1 second. You're going to be seeing a mirror right now. But let me just try to delete the webcam. I'll do that. It's going to mess up my settings, but I don't care. Delete the webcam there. Sorry about this that you're seeing right now. And delete the webcam here. And that shut off the webcam. Okay. So now my webcam is shut off on OBS Studio. And I should be able to bring y'all folks back, let's see, to where I was at. So like I was saying, this part here, just to reiterate, you go down to the bottom, and this is just like, XML is more like a markup language for web developers and stuff like that. But you don't have to know anything. All you have to do is go down and scroll down to the bottom and change this part here. So how do you do it? What I recommend for y'all folks to do, which I found by doing a Google search, is to get, let's see, hold on 1 second. Let me scroll this back down. Sorry about that, folks. I'm just, trying to think fast and moving while I'm doing a live session. I recommend for y'all folks, get MBLab. He talks about that. So you can find all that stuff over here. It says download and install MBLab. Download and install the updated Kinector add-on for Blender, and follow the rest of the steps that he shows there. But what I want to show y'all folks is how to make it work. So what you want to get is the Microsoft XML notepad. And how do you get that? Well, pretty much I found it through a GitHub location. So I'll put the link to that in my video's description area, which is this here, github.com/Microsoft/XML notepad. You can type that as well if you wanted to. And then once you get that, you'll see when you scroll down, there's a video here. So play this video. I know it's a lot of steps, but this is how I was able to get the XML editor software so I can edit it. And edit it properly. So I got it. I watched the video. Actually, I watched the video first, then I got it. So you can click right here where it says click once installer, and that will get you the actual Microsoft XML notepad. Once you get that, and it's free by the way, once you get that on your computer, then you can go in and you can edit the XML file with no problem. So let me see where I downloaded it to. I forgot exactly. Downloaded it over here, and here goes the XML notepad. So all you got to do is double click it. Let me open it. And it looks like this. Once you get it on your computer, let me maximize it so you can see. So it looks like this. It's pretty simple, and you can literally drag and drop that settings file right in this space here. So let me do that real quick so you can see how it will work for your computer. So let's go to the folders, and we're going to go to 3D objects where I put it at, and this is the settings file. It's in a .xml file type. Let's right click and go to properties so you can see that. See, this is the important thing that you need to know or need to get here is the .xml file. So the reason why you would use the Microsoft XML, the actual that software itself, the Notepad, Microsoft XML Notepad, is because it saves in the .xml file type. Those other notepads are not able to do it in terms of saving in the file type. You might have to get a different external, more like a software or online tool. But I highly recommend for you to use this because this is more secure and you should be fine to work this out for you. So there you go with that. So I'm going to take this file here and I'm going to drag it in. And let's try to make this a little smaller. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Let me find that file again. I'm just trying to like locate stuff. So where was I at? In 3D objects? 3D objects. I'm trying to make it smaller. Hold on one second. There we go. Make it a smaller folder so you can see what I'm doing. And hold on. There we go. So say you had the file, that's it right there. You just drag it and drop it in. So after doing that, you'll notice it looks a lot different from what we saw in the Notepad. So what you see in the Notepad is pretty much looks like a, web, web, more like a coding, web markup language coding type of thing, where it has these little bars, brackets, and all of that stuff, which doesn't make too much sense to you, right? Unless you know how coding works for websites. So basically what I found in terms of using this, all you got to do is go to this bottom part where it says OSC, hit the plus. And as soon as you hit the plus, it opens up the local host and it also opens up the port. So you just go in and you double click it and you change it in there. So you do like 137.0.0.1 and you hit enter. Something to that effect. So it's that simple. Once you open it up, you just go in and you just type over that. You double click it and you type over it. And pretty much after that, you should be good. You should be good to go. So now what I'm going to do, if you wanted to save it, you go to File, Save As, and then it allows you to save it as a .xml file type. So this is really the whole key to the recipe of this part of the step. And you also want to save it in that particular location for data, the bin data. So you go in and make sure it's in that location. So this is the main folder, FaceOSC. This is the bin, double click bin, make sure you go to data, double click data, and then you're in the settings area. And I already did it, so you go save and it's going to save it as a .xml file type. So it overwrites pretty much what you're trying, what was previously in there. Hit save, and then it says settings.xml already exists. So you just put, do you want to replace it? And you click yes. So that's that part. I already did it, so I don't have to do it. But from that point on, you should be able to follow what else he has to detail to you in his instructions. So that's this part here, step 2, editing the settings for the XML file. Once you're done that, you got the setup of the host and the port. Now you're going to download and install the updater, or the updated version of Kinector. Not the updater, sorry about that. So we're going to click that. We're going to see where that goes to, and it basically leads to a download straight out through your web browser. We're going to click OK. It's going to send it to my download section on my web, whatever web browser I'm using. I'm actually using Mozilla Firefox. You might be using Google Chrome, so it may be a different location where yours goes to, but pretty much you open it up, and I believe this particular add-on, you don't have to extract it. So what I'm going to do is just move it to my 3D objects folder, and then find it over in my 3D objects folder, and then move it to my add-ons. But I have it right here. This is the older version. I don't want the older version. I want the updated version. So in order to improve on that, what I'm going to do is move this to the Blender folder. And then from the Blender folder, I'm going to, and luckily I don't have it in here, I'm going to look for add-ons. So are there any add-ons here? No, I should have add-ons here. Nope. So I'm gonna go in, I'm just gonna right click, go to new, go to folder, and then type in add-ons, because this is my new computer, so I haven't updated all of my folders. Hit enter, and I'm gonna put it in an add-on folder. That way I can pretty much manipulate it separately from everything else that's there. So, and then whatever other add-ons that I have, I'll tie it into this folder so I know exactly where it is. So what we're gonna do is right click and extract all just in case, and we'll look inside it. And all it has is just this. This is a .py file type, 9 times out of 10. So it's a Python file. I'm not a coder. I don't know how Python works or anything like that, but I do know with Blender, Blender accepts .py file types, and also Blender accepts zip files. So obviously it's not something you have to unzip because all it has is this. So we're going to X that out, and we can delete this one 9 times out of 10 and just leave that like that. So now this is ready to be tied into Blender. So let me open up Blender. I'm going to open up the most recent version of Blender. It's Blender 2.92.0 alpha. And the reason why I'm opening this one is because I want to see if it works on this particular version of Blender, which is the newest one, test version of Blender. So we're going to go to edit, go to preferences. And by the way, folks, if y'all folks are not into Blender or any of this stuff, then probably 9 times out of 10, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you are, and you have been following a lot of the videos I've been doing, you should be able to get to this point. So what we're going to do is go to add-ons, and from there we're going to go to install, and then from install we are going to find it. So you have to find the actual add-on location, so wherever you put it at on your computer pretty much. So that's why I put it in my 3D models folder. So I'm going to look for my home, go to 3D objects, and then go to Blender, and then go to add-ons, and it should be right there. So FaceOSC Kinector.zip, hit install, and it should come up automatically. So like I said, you don't have to unzip it. So there you go. And I checked in this checkbox here to activate the add-on, and it should be able to work. It doesn't have any conflicts here of interest or anything. So it's the most updated version. Now, in order to access it, you're going to have to click this little check mark here, or hit the, I believe, the N key or something to that effect on your keyboard. But pretty much it's going to be working. It should be functioning as intended. So now we can follow on and go on to the next step. So actually I want to try to save this. So I have to click these 3 bars at the bottom on Blender and then click Save Preferences. That way this is saved, whatever I did here, and I can hit the X. Alright, so now what we're going to do, don't worry about anything in the Blender viewport. If you have no idea about how to use Blender, don't worry about it. We're going to try to get y'all folks geared in to see how this will work for you, even if you don't know how to use Blender. So this is the default cube, this is the camera, this is a light, and this is your environment in Blender right now, which is nothing in it. It's a blank environment, has no 3D objects except for a cube. So keep that in mind, and you can manipulate, you can move around and all that stuff, but I'm not getting into that right now. I just want to show y'all folks how to open this up. So you can left click over here where this little arrow is and pull it out with your mouse, and pretty much it opens this up. Or you can hit the N key, I believe. Like I said, the N key on your keyboard makes this pop in and pop out. So it's a pop-up window pretty much. You can also hit the T key on the other side, and it makes your tools go away and come back. But other than that, let's go to the connector. There's a connector tab here, and all your tabs is going to be on the right side. The old version of Blender, they were all on the left, but now it's just a toolbar. So pretty much this is the connector add-on for Blender, and this is what he created. So he made it so that we can connect to it through differing methods, different ways. So this particular FaceOSC ties in to this connector. So when I activate it, it should go and connect and tie to this port 7000 as he told us to go to. And then the I guess the host, the server host and all that stuff is tying in through your computer to another location and then communicating to the connector through Blender. So I think that's how he has it working. And that's why we had to change that settings area, I believe, 9 times out of 10. But don't quote me on it. I don't know all of that technical stuff. I'm just assuming what it does. So let's move on. What we're going to do is go back to his website location and see what else he has to offer here for us to follow. So the next step, that's step 3. So that was a lot of stuff, right? But whatever, let's move on. The next step is download and install MBLab. So like I said, I highly recommend for y'all folks to go and get this MBLab thing. But pretty much you're gonna click here and it brings you to the website for MBLab. What MBLab is, this is more like I would say, an extended version of the original Manuel Bastioni lab, which is a software that was created for Blender and for Blender artists to be able to create content on the fly, 3D, pretty much 3D humans on the fly. And as it says here, MBLab is a Blender add-on that creates humanoid characters. Humanoid in terms of creating human characters, pretty much. So it helps you to create 3D assets, 3D human character assets for free, and it's open source. So that's really what it's meant to do. It's kind of like Make Human. If y'all folks ever watch my Make Human videos, it does the same kind of thing, but it works directly through Blender on the Blender viewport. So that's pretty dope. You can watch videos about it if you want, but the original Manuel Bastioni lab was created by a guy named Manuel Bastioni, and he was the guy who pretty much he actually created Make Human as well. So it's kind of, that's why they both very similar to each other when you think about it. So your characters will start looking like this, and here goes the rig, and you can create all kinds of different things for it. You can create clothes. I'm not really good at creating clothes, so I don't get into that stuff, but the older version had clothes where you had default abilities to tie the clothes in. This newer version, that's kind of questionable as to whether the clothes will be created for you or whether you can find the clothing to tie in. I had a little error and issues with that where I wasn't able to really create future videos because I had some issues with the clothing disappearing in one of the updates on this MBLab software. So it's not 100% that you're going to get everything that you want or that was stated that could be available. But it's definitely something that will advance you a little bit further past trying to create characters from scratch using vertices and using 3D other types of base meshes for modeling and for you to be able to do 3D sculpting and stuff like that. So if you're just like more like an amateur like myself and you're starting in the 3D arena, you're gonna have to learn a lot of details as to how to start out. Like a base mesh. Most people start out with a base mesh, base model, which kind of looks like this, where it's bare boned. It doesn't really have too much on it. It doesn't have much details. You pretty much have to sculpt in the details how you want it to look yourself. So it could look a little different from what everybody else gets as a base model. So that kind of thing, you have to understand base mesh, base model. And from that point, then you can start building your knowledge to go and expand and go further. But other than that, that's MBLab in a nutshell. If you want to get it, that will be the only reason why you're going to get it is to get it to work with the FaceOSC for your connector, for this connector add-on. So you get that, and how you get it, you go in, let's see, you go through GitHub right here, or download, I believe. So let's see, let's go to download, and it brings you down here. So you want to get the latest version, which is Blender 2.81 and beyond. So it should be able to work with Blender 2.92, I believe. I don't know for sure. So we're going to try it. It's an automatic download through your web browser as well as one of the downloads from the connector page. So you just got to wait for that zip to come through. And it should have went through already, but whatever. Looks like it's a pretty large file. So I'm not, all right. I wasn't gonna stare at it, but it's finished. So let's go and open up the zip folder. And from here, it seems like I already have it. So I have it. It's not the most updated version, but maybe they did update it and it has the same name itself. So I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I'm gonna take it, move it to my 3D objects folder, move it to Blender, move it to add-ons, and drop it in my add-ons folder. And then go to the add-ons folder, and there we go. Let's see if we have to extract it. Let's extract all and see what's in it. Let's go to the main folder, jump in, and it's a bunch of Python files. So it doesn't seem like you have to actually unzip it. So let's just try it out. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go on Blender, and we're gonna tie in the zip folder. So let's go back, go to Edit, go to Preferences, and then from Preferences, what we're gonna do is install, and then it should be right here. So we're gonna go to this zip folder and hit Install Add-on. And presto, we got nothing. So, oh, there it is. So just wait a little while, a few seconds, and it should come up. So it came up. Let's activate it, see if it works. And it looks like it's working. So we have no discrepancies here. If you had a discrepancy, it will tell you like it's not ready, it's being updated, or it needs to be updated, or whatever. And now they also have this thing here that says check now for MBLab update, which is pretty cool. Let's click that. Let's see, add-on is up to date. The last update was, let's see, 2020, November 18th. So it was recently updated. No, it says last update check. That's the last check. Okay, so that wasn't when it was updated. Install latest master, old version. No, we're not gonna do all that. So I'm gonna click this little checkbox. So basically it's gonna auto check for updates. All right, so we out of this. Let's go to save, hit the X, and now the MBLab is available. Boom, as a tab here. So as soon as you click the check mark, your tabs will pop up. And then from there, you can create your character. So I'm kind of familiar with how it works. If you're not familiar, you pretty much, if you're new to it, you can select from here what type of character you would like for your base mesh or base model. And it's defaulted to Afro female, so like an African American female. Then you got Asian female, Caucasian, Latino. You got African American male, Asian male, Caucasian male, Latino male. Then you got anime female, realistic female, anime male, etc., etc. So you go all the way down. You can make an elf, you can make a dwarf. Let's just play around and create, I guess, an anime male. Let's see. I usually create anime females, but let's go in and try to create an anime male. So all you got to really pay attention to, and it was important in the beginning of creating, is just go to do that and then go to create character. The rest of the stuff is after you create the character. So this is after creation tools. So they tried to make it user friendly. As soon as you click it, your character is created in your viewport and it's rigged and everything. It has bones. Rig meaning that it has digital bones, so you can actually animate it and you can move it around in the viewport, stuff like that, make it do what it does. So we're gonna go and delete the cube, and we're just gonna use this base model here to see what he wants us to do or what we can do with it. The character won't look that great when you first start out on Blender because it doesn't have its textures activated fully, because your viewport may be in a certain setting. So right now I'm in the settings for solid. Let's go into the next setting, and now you get to see that the character now has some sort of color and texture, and it has some underwear type of stuff. It's not really underwears, but at least it's not nude. So if you want to see the best version that you can see, the rendered version, you click the last one and it will go in and render it. So this is how it looks as a rendered model. So this is pretty much why you want to create in 3D pretty much, so you can get a 3D model and then eventually try to activate the face in the motion of the body parts and then play the actual character. So it's like you putting yourself in an avatar suit, kind of, you know, when you're trying to work all this stuff to make it work its magic. But it's not 100% avatar, but it's kind of like it. So that's my target. That's what I'm trying to do. And I want to be able to act out these characters that I create myself and make the details look the way I want them to look. So maybe I can create a video, like some sort of cartoon or some sort of a 3D animated film, short films, things like that. That's my aim and my goal, to become an animator in the future. But for now, I'm pretty much novice and I'm learning. But I'm showing y'all folks, you know, from what I've learned so far on Blender for over a year, about a year, going on close to 2 years on Blender. With my novice experience, I learned a lot of things on how to get things to work. And the software side, you know, going in, jumping into software like I showed y'all folks today and doing simple things. Those things are not hard. It just takes a lot of time. It's tedious. So the tedious work is what I try to work out for people. And I make videos on YouTube so people can see how to get in and out of different things that may take more time for them if they don't watch what I'm able to create, or they don't watch other people's videos. You know, like if you just go to his website and you try to follow everything he has here, he puts good details, but everything is not easy to do. Like he goes in the video and he says, go change it, but he doesn't show how to change the XML file, stuff like that. So I do all of that. I try to like paste in between points where people don't understand stuff. Like he may show to get the add-on and jump straight into the add-on, but he doesn't show exactly how to get the add-on, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make the Gerber baby food type of details for those who are brand new and novice on YouTube or wherever they're at on the globe. You know, if you need that kind of information, I try to find that stuff and figure it out, puzzle it together so you can understand how to make it work. So other than that, that's that step 5 here. After you download MBLab, you create and finalize the character. So how do you finalize the character? I haven't done that yet, but I can show y'all folks. Let's go back to Blender. So once you create the character, the settings change up a little bit. As you can see, the on-screen settings will change. And now you can go in and customize the character. You can make it a different age. You can make it a different mask, different tone. You can play around. They have a character library. You can random generate the character so your character looks different randomly. And let's see, auto modeling not available for this character. So I think it's not available for this particular character. Let's see. I'm trying to, let's see, hold on one second. No, it's not available for this particular character. But if I created a different character, I can go in and I can change the features just by clicking random generator. You can also go into the random generator, I think, and no, it's not giving me the options. My cats are acting crazy upstairs, by the way. But yeah, that's the random generator. You know what I'm gonna do? Let's create a human character. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna change everything. We're gonna delete everything, delete the cube, and then we're gonna go in and start off over from scratch again. Go to MBLab, and I'm going to create, let's go for a Latino female, whatever. And go to create character. Hopefully she's not nude. I don't think she's gonna be nude. So they're smart enough not to make the characters nude, like I said. So let's go in, and there goes the character. Does she look Latino? She probably doesn't look that Latino, that Latino to me, but maybe to you. Right now, Blender's not responding, but it's going in, and it should be able to produce her in her full formatted fashion. It's just thinking. There we go. So it went in and it produced her. She does look kind of Latino to me. So, but her pigmented parts of her skin is like really, really pigmented. Okay, so there you go. That's the character. She doesn't look too bad. The only thing is that she's bald, so we want to get some hair for her, but I'm not worried about that right now. So I just want to show y'all folks that random character generator. So let's click it, and it should be able to go in and change her. If it didn't work, it's probably because I have to click on the bone and then select random character generator. Let's see what it did. Did it do anything? I don't see any difference. I don't think it's doing anything. Look like these tools are not even available. What is it saying? Let's see. Noticeable. I think I have to go and change this here. I'm not sure. Let's go for face. Okay, go back. Body. Let's try it again. It's not working. So I don't know what that is, but it's not working. Let's go to finalize tools. Oh, let's try generate. Let's try generate. That's not working either. So you know what? This version of MBLab may not be working 100% the way it's supposed to. I'm not sure. What is this? Let's X this out. Okay. Let's just try to finalize. Alright, whatever. So we're gonna finalize it. We'll call it her. Where do we go? We're gonna save it in the Blender folder. Go to models and just save it there. Okay. What is that? Looks like an error popped up. Some sort of error popped up. I don't know if it finalized the character. I don't think it did, because it's supposed to give me different tools. Finalize textures and back up. Nope. It's giving me errors. So for some reason, it seems like this particular version of Blender is not working. Let's go to another version of Blender. Maybe it'll work on this one. This is Blender 2.90. I may have to go to a much older version of Blender 2.8. Blender 2.8 might work. So let's go in. We're gonna have to go to the add-on, install, and find it in the install side. And I apologize, folks, that I'm having some issues, but you're gonna run into technical difficulties when you're trying something out a great deal of the time. Most definitely when you're trying to do this add-on stuff and trying to get things to be puzzled together properly the way you want it. So we're gonna go install add-on, and the add-on should pop up soon. There we go. Hit the check mark, and now we got it down here. Let's go in and try to create that female again. Create character. Get rid of the default cube. It's gonna go in. It created the character, so it seems like it can create the character with no problem, but when you're trying to get the character more like completed, it's not working well. Here goes the finalize tools. Oh, that's working. Okay, so now these are working a lot better. Okay, so maybe the random generator will work. Let's see. So this is the random generator software. Phenotype, face, fantasy. I don't want to use the fixed tones and stuff. Let's try random generate. See what it did. Oh, go here, generate. Okay, so now it's working. You see the character moved? Let's see. See, it's actually trying to generate a new character type. So let's go to height. So what you don't want to actually be affected is what you click in here. So now it's not affecting the height. Now let's try to generate. Boom. And let's go back in. View the character. Hold on 1 second. And it's not responding, but that happens. So we're waiting. All right, there goes the character. Let's try it again. And now you can see it's generating. Cool, right? So every time I click generate, it changes the model's body to some degree. Let's try face. All right. Let's click off everything else except the face. So it doesn't really change it that drastically. That's light. So we're going to go to extreme. Boom. There we go. Let's go to noticeable. Okay, so let's Control Z a bunch of times. Move the character, hold on, down a little bit so you can see the face. Control Z. Control Z helps you to back up. Control Z. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna, instead of extreme, we're gonna go to noticeable and generate. Wow, that's too much. Control Z. Let's go to realistic and generate. Wow. So it's not great with that particular thing. Actually, take off the fantasy. That's what we need to do. Control Z. Control Z. All right. Take off the fantasy, and then let's generate. Let's see. Still does the same thing. So the facial generation is not that great, but hey, you do what you got to do. Oh, let's try light. I didn't try light. Let's go back. Control Z. Control Z. Okay, let's try light. Light might work. Nope. Light is extreme as well. Control Z. Take off fantasy. Yep, this is not working too good, but hey, you see what I'm saying? You can pretty much play around with it. But the face itself, you're probably gonna have to go in and morph it yourself. So like you gotta go to sculpting and then play around with the face and the sculpting options. Once you learn how to do sculpting on Blender, then you can manipulate the face how you see fit and create different facial distortions and make it look a little different from what it looks here, which is not really that hard to do. You just play with the tools and manipulate the face. Other than that, this should be ready for playing with based on what he wants us to do. So let's go and bounce out. What he details you can do. So I finalized the character, so now y'all folks see. Oh no, I didn't. Hold on, let's see if I can finalize the character. Forgot about that. So that's at the bottom. Finalize character only. Hold on 1 second. Let's hide that. Why is it not working? After creation tools. Oh, okay, finalize tools. There we go. Display options. Finalize tools. Let's try to finalize textures. There we go. and we're going to type in HER here, .png, that's what it usually saves it as. And we're gonna go in again and try to save it. I'll just save it in a 3 objects folder, doesn't matter. Finalize. And an error popped up. Why did her face change? That's weird. Hold on. Edit, undo. After I tried to save it, it did some craziness. It's weird. So this is not working either. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna have to go and use the older version of Blender. But as you can see, this would be the finalize step here. Once you finalize it, this whole section will change and it will go away. But I won't be able to get everything working unless I'm able to come up with that finalized character. So I'm gonna end the video on this note, but if y'all folks can get it working on your computer, you can follow the rest of the steps. Once you finalize the character, it says to change the head joint rotation to Euler. So I don't know exactly how to change the head joint rotation, but it's probably not that complicated. But let's see, let's go to Blender. And the head joint is here to some degree, I think. Let's go into pose mode. And we're gonna hide. We gotta hide the skin of the character. Hold on one second. There we go. So hide the skin, and this is the head joint. You have to change this to Euler, they said. So what do I do here? What do I do? I could have been on it. I think it's right here. Head, transform. I'm not really that versed in all of this stuff in terms of the Euler stuff, the rotations and all that. I'm not that good at that stuff. So like I said, watch that video he had put up, this video here, and I'm sure he details how to do this head joint rotation Euler to XYZ. I didn't watch the full video. I only watched a few moments of it to get me started on this part, and then I just jumped in and I was excited, so I wanted to try to get mine to work. But like I said, I'll create another live stream session and try to end this session, and bring y'all folks back to it so you can get to see more like an overview of what I did, and then jump in or be able to give you the link to get back to this video if you didn't watch it, for whoever is new to that particular video. And other than that, that's all I got. Once you get to that point, you can go in and select the object, move it to the slot 1 in the connector. So what that means is, I'll show you folks. Let's go in. When they say select the object, we got to get out of pose mode, be in object mode. They mean to select the bones. So by selecting the bones, you just click this little knob at the top, or anywhere you can see a little stub for the bones. And let me reactivate the flesh. There you go. So you can activate the flesh or deactivate the flesh over here in the outliner. This is like the Blender outliner or whatever they call it. More like where all your assets, 3 assets are stored at. These are like file asset locations. So you can like shut stuff off. So I just shut off the bones. Right here, that's the skeleton, and then I can shut off the skin. So you have to click and select the bones, like up here, and they all highlight in green. You can see the hand, the bones in the hand, stuff like that. Once you highlight it and you selected it, then you're gonna go to that add-on. And I don't have the add-on here. That's so funny, right? So let's go to the other one. So we're gonna go to the Kinector add-on, and you just go to move. What it does, you're gonna notice this here is gonna change to Kinector. So the naming of the skeleton or whatever name of your rig, say it wasn't MBLab, it was your own rig that you created yourself. You can do it with your own rig 9 times out of 10 using the connector, but I don't know for sure. So let's go click move, and it's gonna rename it to Kinector 1. And then from that point forward, you're gonna have to go in and follow the rest of the steps that he has. So what's the other step? Start FaceOSC and have fun. So maybe I can make it work even though I didn't finalize the character all the way. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. You probably can. Let's go into pose mode. If you can repose the positions, then you should be able to work it. Let's see. We're going to rotate. It should work. It's moving. So I don't think you have to finalize the character. So let's try that. Okay. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to go play with the FaceOSC real quick. Let's open 3 objects. I don't have it in here actually. I have it in the Blender folder. Where did I put it at? Add-ons? FaceOSC connector. It's right here. Extract all. Oh, this is the connector add-on. So I can delete that. Sorry about that. Where did I put it at? I forgot where I put it. It's in one of these folders here. Here it is. 3D objects, FaceOSC. Okay. So we're gonna go back to the bin and double click FaceOSC. And let's see what it does. Now it might not find my face because it's probably trying to connect to the connector. The Kinect 2. I have a Kinect 2 for Microsoft, and I may have to pretty much remove it on my computer in order for it to detect the video webcam, the webcam itself. So, let's see what it's doing. Searching for face. It didn't even activate my webcam, so I think that's the problem. So I will do that in a second. Let's X this out and go in and try. Hold on one second. We might be able to get this to work. I like doing this stuff. I like to fail in order to get something to work, because failing, you get to learn stuff. But hold on one second. Let's see. I'm just going to my plugs, because when you're using the Kinect, you're gonna have all kinds of plugs and stuff like that. So I got plugs all over the place. And trying to see if I could remove the plug. Do I have to remove the plug? Where is the connector connected to anyway? Or the Kinect itself, not connector. I got that connected. What about the rest of it? Oh shoot, it's not even connected. So why isn't it working? Seems like the FaceOSC is not even communicating at all to my webcam. The Microsoft Kinect is not even connected at all. You can't find my face if the damn thing is not on. So how would it find my face? The webcam's not even on. I don't know. I don't know how they got the software running or what you're supposed to do with it in terms of connecting to your actual webcam, but he said it's very simple. It can connect to your webcam. I'll watch that video and I'll try to come back and get it to work, but nah, it's not working. It's not communicating at all to my webcam. So if it was able to communicate to my webcam, then it probably could do something to the effect of what he wants it to do, what he says it can do, but nope, it's not. So I'm gonna exit this out, and I'll see y'all folks next time, actually. So let's end this session on YouTube. Go over here, go over to live stream, and end the stream. Peace out.